Week 4 of the college football season has just wrapped up, and one of the teams that's kind of gone under the radar, not gotten too much media attention as of now, at least compared to, I don't know, a team like Colorado State with Deion, would have to be the Fresno State Bulldogs. Yes, the same Mountain West school that produced talent like Devontae Adams and Derek Carr in the early 2010s, that Fresno State school, and, they're relevant again. For the first time in, a decade? This team has, been on the up and up for the last 2 or 3 years. They've been to 2 back-to-back bowl games, the New Mexico Bowl, and I want to say 2021, and thanks to Jake Haener. Jake Haener was a big part of that, of the college's recent success. He was so good that he got drafted in the 4th round recently by the, the New Orleans Saints, right? He just got drafted there. Of course, he's going through suspension, but we'll ignore that for now. And then in 2022, he brought this team to the LA Bowl, where they went ahead and won another bowl game, except this time in 2022, they had a different head coach, and he went by Jeff Tedford. Now, I want to bring up Jeff Tedford because I think he's a big part of the change that's going on in Fresno State. His first season there, the team goes 10-4, 7-1 in conference. They only lose 1 conference game the entire year. And in year 2, they get off to an even hotter start. Right now, under Jeff Tedford, the team is currently 4-0. And have they played any conference games? Not yet. But I'm pretty sure that this Fresno State team is on the verge of being ranked in the top 25, which is unbelievable. I couldn't tell you when the last time that happened is. And I don't really care, right? We're here to talk about the 2023 Fresno State Bulldogs. All right, and they have a new QB under center. Like I said, Jake Haener was just drafted, so they needed a new guy to come in and replace him, and that guy has been Mikey Keane. And Mikey Keane came out of the gates slinging the ball because in week 1, Fresno State would have a solid matchup, a big school in Purdue. They would go against Purdue in week 1. And it looked like Mikey Keane was born for the lights, right? For the big Showtime lights. Because he went out there, threw 31 for 44 passing-wise, had almost 400 passing yards. I want to say about 366 passing yards. And had 4 touchdowns with only 1 interception to take down the Purdue Boilermakers. That was an absolute huge win on the road for Fresno State in week 1. So the fact that they did that was mind-blowing in itself, and what they've been able to do by building off of that has also been pretty impressive. I mean, this was a very competitive game. There wasn't like a huge lead here and there. Every score was essentially back-to-back. Both teams were going down the field and scoring on almost every drive. And it just so happened to come down to a last-minute drive, I want to say with 59 seconds left. Mikey Keane slings it to the end zone for Eric Brooks for a 22-yard touchdown pass to essentially end the game there, as Fresno State would go on to win 39-35. And that was just week 1, all right? Now, was Purdue the biggest school they've played so far? I mean, I'd say so. If you look at their schedule, they haven't played too many other big schools, at least not yet. Right? But in week 2, they did have Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington has, given some trouble to the Fresno State Bulldogs in the past. But this go around, they made them work for it. Did Fresno State come away with the win? Yes, but it did come in double overtime. Mikey Keane and Gilliam and Brooks, right? These offensive weapons all had to work for their week 2 win against Eastern Washington. I wouldn't say it was as hard as Purdue, but it was a little difficult. I mean, 34-31 double OT game. That doesn't happen if it's easy. Again, Mikey Keane would have an interception, but that didn't really matter because he had guys like Gilliam, their running back, who went ahead and got 2 TDs rushing-wise and 87 rushing yards. That's pretty solid, especially for a guy like Gilliam, right? And due to big games from guys like Gilliam, Brooks, and Mikey Keane, the Fresno State Bulldogs were able to walk away with a week 2 victory. And then week 3 rolls around and they're playing Arizona State, another pretty medium-sized school, all right? Yeah, they're not the big dogs, but Mikey Keane, Gilliam, Brooks, they all show up again. This time, Keane doesn't throw an interception, thank God. He throws for 2 TDs, has almost 300 passing yards. Gilliam does his thing, and Eric Brooks actually hits triple digits when it came to receiving yards. Fresno State kind of bullied Arizona. They beat them 29-0. As the Sun Devils would fall to 1-2. and Fresno State would rise to 3-0. And all of a sudden, this is when they grabbed my attention, all right? This is when Fresno State caught my eye. Because I'm looking at them, they're 3-0. You know, when's the last time they had a hot start? Maybe Jake Haener, maybe Derek Carr, but now it's Mikey Keane, right? Mikey Keane is a transfer from UCF. I'm pretty sure he's in his sophomore season. Correct me if I'm wrong here. He did play a little bit for UCF. I'm sure there are a few clips of him out there. If not, you're probably going to be seeing Fresno State clips right now. And then you got guys like Gilliam and Brooks who have been on the team for a while now. Brooks is senior and Gilliam his junior year. So these guys have been on the squad for a while, and it's really great to see them shining, right? I mean, this offense is just flowing. In fact, their defense did a pretty fantastic job too. Don't get me wrong, they allowed 0 points. The Sun Devils didn't score anything. And then week 4 comes around, just took place. They went ahead, played Kent State. Not a good football team, at least not this year anyway. And, you know, Mikey Keane, they do what they do to little schools. They bully them. They went ahead and they beat the out of Kent State, won 53-10, and that's kind of what put them near the top 25, if not in the top 25. We'll find out in a couple days. But Mikey Keane did his job, threw for 4 touchdowns, one of his best games, no interceptions, and, you know, the team really stepped up, right? They stepped up, they're now 4-0, and things are looking better and better week by week, right? And if we take a quick glance at Fresno State's upcoming schedule, they don't really play anybody that they should need to worry about, right? They haven't played any conference games, so they're going to need to do those. Boise State, Utah State, Wyoming, San Jose State. They got a bunch of those games that are in conference that they're going to need to worry about slightly, but I do think they're better than every team, at least as of what I've seen so far. Now, of course, I'm pretty sure they're ranked near the top 25, like I've mentioned several times. And if they're able to roll through their schedule this season, they could finish maybe in the top 20, possibly. That puts them in good standings, especially with the people that oversee college football and the seedings and rankings for next season when it eventually expands to a 12-team playoff format. And once that happens, if Fresno State finishes the year off fantastic, maybe they have a possibility of qualifying for the college football playoffs next season when it expands to 12. You know, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but Mikey Keane makes me excited, makes me like watching Fresno State football. Not saying Jake Haener didn't do that, but come on, 4-0, how can we not jump on this bandwagon, right? Anyway, that's about it for this video. All I wanted to cover was Fresno State and how they've been doing, and how they've been kind of shocking the media, right? So that's about it. Catch y'all later. Much love. And deuces.